Hello, 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 hello. Yes. Why wasn't this working before? But it's working now. Okay, good. At least it's working now. Let me just close this. Yeah. And yeah, we will be sculpting this character. I don't know who this is, but I read something League of Legends. So I'm guessing it's a popular character. Too bad I haven't really played that game before. But yeah, I just found the design to be very cool. So let's start sculpting this. And yeah, let me just tag the free community that I have now, where you can find a free head sculpting course. Free head sculpting course and community. And just let me pin this in the comment section. Just a second, guys. Although there's no one here yet, but still allow me to do this. Yeah. And by the way, if you do not know, let me just quickly show you. So basically, I had this paid program, the paid school, where people are sculpting. I gather all of the serious artists who want to learn sculpting. We get a ton. We have a lot of sculpting courses here, all level by level, step by step. But now we also have a free version of the school where you can get a community as well, and you can get two of these courses absolutely for free. The rest you can purchase as a one-time lifetime purchase. Previously they were hosted on our station, but no longer. They are all available here inside one hood, so you can purchase them any way you like. Some of these are unlocked by level, so as you engage more, as you upgrade. Oh my god, bless me, sorry about that. But yeah, as you level up, and you level up by interacting, so the more you engage with other people, the more you interact with other people, you can unlock these courses right here. You can also unlock a one-to-one call with me, which where I will help you with anything that you like. So yeah, this community is absolutely free, and it's linked in the comments, also pinned in the comment section here. So without any further ado, let's dive back to our sculpt. And yeah, let's start sculpting. Symmetry on X. Yeah, this is a really interesting reference. I don't know why, but I really like the design of D&D characters. No, not D&D. Oh my god, what's this? LOL. League of Legends characters. I feel like these games have very cool designs. Even Dota has some really cool character designs. My brother plays Dota and he's showing me these character skins and everything, and he's like, hey, why don't you make assets for Dota? They have this competition every, I don't know how, what tenure the competition is. He's like, yeah, they have this competition, you should definitely make some assets for them. Bro, I don't want to. But yeah, when I look at those, the costumes and the characters, they are really nice, very well done. I even got Dota installed. I asked him, hey, just install Dota on my PC so that I can browse through the character customization menu. This is the trick that I learned, by the way. So let's say you want a reference of a taken character. You can go to YouTube and you can literally type, let's say you want to examine King, which is my favorite taken character, by the way. So you go on YouTube, you write King character customization. And as they are customizing the character, you can take screenshots of front view, side view, third quarter view. And it's very beneficial. Hey, hello Shizuma, how are you, brother? But yeah, I asked him to install it for me, but I've never opened the app. It's really because I just do not have the time. I'm always making tutorials. Right now I'm recording a stylized sculpting course. I have so many ideas in my mind, but of course all in good time. I'm really good, and I'm doing very good as well. Thank you. Yeah, you're always the first person to be here. It's amazing. I feel like I'm having some sort of a flu going on. I'm not really. I don't know. It's just a very itchy nose right now. I don't know why I feel like sneezing. I was fine just before the stream. And you know, in our superstitions, in Desi superstitions, it means someone is missing you. When someone seems like, oh, who's trying to remember you? Someone's missing you. Balwant Singh, I was the first today. Oh, but Shizuma was the first to comment, so I don't know who came first. Yeah, next time, do say a hi, bro, so I can know you were the first person. Today is officially my first year of 3D. Oh wow! So today is the 365th day of you learning 3D. Don't you hate it when you have very little geometry for the ear? Oh boy, this looks really bad. Or of course we can come back to it later when we have more geometry. Right now the main focus is always just to get the basic features in. Of course you can spend as long as you want later defining these stuff. A decision I don't regret. Exactly 1 year ago today I decided to switch from programming to 3D. That is absolutely amazing though. And yeah, looking at the progress that you've made, looking at your sculpts now, it's very inspiring. Yeah, congratulations, my friend. His eyes look a bit above center to me. Okay, let's just try going about here. For now, and if something's wrong, we can always adjust. Yeah, digital art is a blessing. And I just cannot even fathom how traditional artists tackle these problems. They make one commitment, done. You have to stay committed to it. It was so hard to make adjustments in traditional art or traditional sculpting. It's actually amazing. It makes you admire their work even more. Like imagine breaking a sculpture just because you hit the hammer a bit hard. Or in digital we have Control Z, Control S. We can make backup files. We can set checkpoints for our projects. Back then, not a chance, bro. If you mess up, you messed up. Done. Boom. Thank you so much. Oops. But I'll be honest, I feel like I've barely started, and that the real adventure is just beginning. Yeah, I agree. This is a sign of being a good artist, actually. You feel like you just do not know enough. The more you learn, you feel like, oh wow, there's still so much to learn. And it's important to not let this demotivate you. It's always good to have your first sculpt in front of you. That is why we have the level 0 wall, and that is why the level 0 section is my favorite section, by the way. Just in case someone doesn't know what the level 0 section is, it's this section right here. So, level 0. This is just so that everyone can remind themselves where to be started. Wait, Shizuma, let me find yours. Here you go. So, guys, this is where Alex started. And now look at the sculpts he makes now. Hey, Alex, send me your recent sculpt that you want to show, because I want to show the audience here the kind of progress that one can get in a year. Send me something on Discord and I'll show it here. That's really important that you remember where did you start from, and yeah, just use that. It can be very demotivating at times when you feel like, wow, I've been learning so much, but there's still so much to learn. It's important to remember that you have progressed, how much you have learned, where did you start, and just focus on that progress. If you look up all the time, you're going to be disappointed, because the competition is always increasing. There's always going to be someone better than you. You just have to compete with yourself. Just remember that this is where I started. This is my progress now. And just keep on defeating your version from yesterday. As long as you're a better person than what you were yesterday, as long as you're a better artist than what you were yesterday, you're on a good path. And all you need to do is to just keep going. By the way, did you send me something? Let me check Discord real quick. Nope, not yet. Let's continue. Yeah, so far so good, I guess. Let's add a bit more detail now. I'm happy with where we are right now. I think that the angles of the eyebrows is a bit more steeper. But yeah, too soon to figure that out. Let's worry about the basic form. Then yeah, I think it looks okay. By the way, if you're wondering how am I sculpting from a single reference, I'm not. I have this reference over here as well, which is the third quarter of the front and the side view. The reason that I only have this over here is because I just like having my references on another monitor. But yeah, I just want to be transparent of using references. This is something that you shouldn't really be ashamed of. I don't know why a lot of creators like to hide this part and pretend that, yeah, I'm so cool, I sculpt without a reference. No one sculpts without a reference. Reference is king. If you're sculpting without a reference, you're fooling yourself. It's just like you're shooting at your own feet. I mean, just look at Mona Lisa, one of the most renowned paintings of all time. Da Vinci didn't sculpt from imagination. There was actually a person sitting in front of him that he made a portrait of. You can sculpt without a reference, but only if you're trying to test your memory, test what you've learned, but it's not the default way to do stuff. Everyone uses a reference. Yeah, the character is really cool. I agree. I was looking at this on Pinterest and it really stood out. Where is his mouth? Personally, when I read, oh, here's my sculpture without a reference, I've noticed that it's often sometimes beginners say, yeah, definitely. I don't know why. Even when I was a young artist, even a few years ago, I used to think that it's pretty cool to sculpt without a reference. It was also almost like a shame to use a reference. I don't know who put that mentality, but it's amazing how many artists they feel ashamed of using a reference. Why? When you start to gain experience in sculpting, you quickly understand that references are your basic tool. Yeah, I agree, 100%. I still consider myself a beginner, but I mean people who have recently started sculpting. I agree as well. I mean, I wouldn't say you're a beginner, but the way that I like to think of this is I just feel like I don't know when is someone a pro. Like, when can you call yourself a pro? I've committed to be like a long life student of this because I know the study will never stop. There's always going to be areas where I can improve. Yeah, I've just committed to the game no matter how long it takes. I'll always keep improving, always keep learning. I mean, I've seen people make videos about a pro artist reviews your work or something. But I'm like, bro, how can you define a pro? What's the barrier that when you cross, you're a pro now? There isn't. I just like to stay a bit grounded. I say, oh, I'm a lifelong student, bro. Yeah, I think you should always be a student. Yeah, I agree, especially since 3D is constantly evolving, even for professionals. So it's hard to say when you start actively earning money from it. I admit I don't know. Like I said, really good question. I don't think earning is where you can define you're a pro because there are a lot of artists. I mean, for example, the kind of work that I did as a 3D artist in my professional work environment. I was doing low poly stuff. I was making stuff for hyper casual. I see a lot of 3D artists in my country. They know nothing. They literally have no skill at all. All they do is download two models and then they stitch the head of one model to the body of the other one. But would you consider them to be a pro? I don't think so. So, what's how do you define a pro? What's the barrier? What's the marker that, yeah, this person is pro now? Yeah, I kid you not, bro. I mean, where I worked, I was fortunate enough. I'm grateful that I got an education abroad. I got an education in Malaysia. My degree was about 3D animation and design. And when I came here, I was an intern and I was teaching the senior on how to do stuff. They didn't know the concept of blend shapes. And I had to teach them, hey, this is how you make a blend shape. Would you call that artist a pro? No, I'm not sure, bro. I don't know. I really don't know. When does one become a pro? Maybe we should ask ChatGPT and see what he thinks about this. When is someone a pro? How do you define a pro? Okay, let me just take a quick measurement of his the lower lip is almost in the middle, a bit here. Yeah. And yeah, to be honest, I see a lot of creators throwing around this word as well. But when I look at the art, it's not really that impressive. But just because you're a creator now with little subscribers, you're not a pro, bro. Not a pro. They are bigger creators than you, and they are still humble. They don't call themselves a pro. That's a interesting question. I need to AFK, so I try to hurry back. Yeah, sure thing. Goodbye. Take care. Always a pleasure having you. Oh man, that was one of my favorite characters from League that you're sculpting right now. What's his name? I'm curious. I just read League of Legends on the Pinterest post that I got this reference from, but I'm not sure what the character is. And yeah, welcome to the stream, bro. I don't know why. I feel like League characters are very aesthetic. Previously, I was sculpting Darius without knowing. I just saw the reference and I really liked the reference. And yeah, you actually pointed it out that, oh, why are you sculpting Darius? I had no clue it was Darius. So yeah, I guess League of Legends makes some really cool characters. Lucian. All right. Yeah, I loved the design of this as well. I was just scrolling through Pinterest thinking of what should I sculpt. Yeah, this character really stood out. You know, whenever I sculpt a nose like this, it always reminds me of Kratos. He has a very distinctive nose, like a pointing down nose. Whenever I make a nose like this, always reminds me of Kratos. Also, this is one of the rare cases where you can see the edges of the lower lip. Usually it's just super flush with the rest of the mouth area. Yeah, this is the benefit of learning generic sculpts. When you figure out generic proportions, it's just so much easier to have these characteristics later on. Agreed, agreed. I think I pointed something similar out when Nikolai interviewed me. Similar to what? I think I lost a bit of context. Yeah, I mean, my OBS, it just sometimes doesn't load the chart for some reason and it just loads all of them in bulk. So, pardon if my reply gets a bit late or something. I was talking about how once you've got basic anatomy portions going, it's easier to tweak that. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, that's why also inside the head sculpting course, I only focus on the generic shapes. Once you have a good grip of generic stuff, the rest is just a piece of cake. I mean, I learned things the hard way. That is also what inspires me to make the courses that I make, just so that I can teach stuff in a way that I wish someone had taught me. It doesn't need to be hard. But apparently, some instructors, they just want to sound cool. Oh, the sternocleidomastoid or the maxilla, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, it comes at the cost of the student or the learner being confused, being overwhelmed. It shouldn't be that way. Me wanting to sound cool shouldn't come at your expense. I guess it's no, maybe not their fault as well. The instructors that they learned from, they were all about name of the muscles as well. I just like applying all of the self-improvement knowledge that I accumulated while I read books like the 80-20 principle and yeah, I mean all other stuff. Things are actually much simpler. You can complicate things however much you want to. But it's just unfair when it comes at the expense of someone else. Lol, the only muscle I remember is the sternocleidomastoid. I have no idea about most of the other. You don't need to, bro. You don't have to. You're not a doctor. You're an artist. And yeah, I'm just on this mission that I want to help as many artists learn this without being overwhelmed. I also remember the sternocleidomastoid. I just feel that the ones that I remember are the ones that I've heard about so many times. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Yeah, the distance here is massive. Massive. I think I need to pull the eyes down a bit like this. And then blend more of this part with the fat. Yeah, speaking about the fat, people really remember the name of these fat pads as well. Siculus fat pad. The Siculus fat above the eye, or whatever. The Ciscus biscus. Oh my god, they just sound like Harry Potter spells. You don't need that information, bro. It's actually funny. I mean, if you share your work on a Discord server, all right, you know how in Facebook we used to be attacked by grammar Nazis. When you share your work around art communities, you get bombarded by anatomy Nazis. They know the anatomy back and forwards, but the only thing they don't know how to do is to sculpt. And it's hilarious to me that the people picking out others people's sculpts apart, the only thing that they can't do is sculpt. Like, come on, bro. Seriously. You're telling me that the long break eye major of my bicep is a bit towards the left. It should be a bit centered. But when it comes to you sculpting, you can't do it either. Come on, bro. I've honestly never heard of the names of the fat pads above the eyes. Yeah, the name of fat pads, the fat pad here, the fat pad here. And yes, unfortunately, some people take the effort to remember all the names. Oh yeah, bro. People start calling out certain muscles, whether it's critique or them saying, I really like how you portrayed the blah 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 muscle. And I'm like, yeah. 100%, bro. You know, they just wanna sound cool. I don't know if it gives them a hard on or something. Oh, the name of the muscles, bro. Like, imagine you know the name of every muscle, but the only thing you can't do is sculpt. How unfortunate is that? Oh, I think I overdid this. Yeah, the eyes are a bit intimidating, to be honest. I've been spending time around, but yeah, let's dive into the eyes. I think I need a bit higher geometry. Let me just make a backup version as well, just in case I mess things up. Yeah, let's dive into the eyes. So far, so good. Okay, not bad. Which I still need to make the eyeball, because when you have the sphere over here, it's much easier to get the proper curvature of the eye. Yeah, there's literally no need to eyeball this. No need to eyeball this. What are you making right now? I'm making, what was the name, bro? Let me scroll up in chat. Yeah, Lucian from the League of Legends. this corrector right here. Let's first make the cavity for the eyeball. Yeah, today the stream is a bit quieter compared to the other days. I think it's because it's Sunday, maybe. But yeah, I'm happy that I am streaming a bit more habitually, at least with sculpting at least once a week. Yeah, I'm happy with how things are going right now. Oh, bro, I had a better shape, but I think when I was moving it for this stuff, it just messed up the shape a bit. Let's try to get the shape back again. This part is going to be extremely straight, and then it's going to be a sudden bend down. Yeah, much more like it. And this is also why you should lock the X and the Z axis. Yeah, so that you can only move in the direction of the eyeball. But I don't know why. I just like freestyling this. Whereas this is a better tool to do this, to be honest. Yeah, most likely people sleeping in on Sundays. Yes, Jerry's. No, man, sometimes you should get some rest. But when I was still working at a company that I hated, I did not like working there. I used to go on weekends at work if the job required. But when it was time to work on my goals on the weekends, I just wanted to sleep in. But no longer. Today is a Sunday. I woke up at 3 a.m. and I recorded two videos, two feedback videos for the community as well. So I'm just like, bro, if you cannot work on a weekend for yourself, don't fool yourself thinking you'll work on a weekday either. I feel like if you're passionate about your work, weekends should be exciting for you because you have all the time to finally work on the thing that you are passionate about. Once you start seeing results, weekends they just become addictive in a way that yeah, you only want to work on your things on the weekends. Or if you just cannot, then I really recommend one should start getting up early because when you wake up early, you have all the time in the world to work on your stuff first before working on anyone else's stuff. I mean, I used to get up at 5 a.m. when I was still working just so that I could get up early and learn Blender. Because my job, right, it required me to wake up at 7 a.m. so I could be ready by 8. It was an hour-long commute and I had to leave by 8 so I can reach by 9. Yeah, the only time that I could practice Blender, learn Blender was at 5 a.m. I just realized, bro, if I can work hard for someone else, I should work harder for myself. I'm quite happy the way the eyes turned out. Nice. I think we're pretty much done. The only thing left is the hair, which is going to be really simple. This pattern, super simple. By the way, bro, do you prioritize your sleep as well? I'm only asking because for me personally, I feel like grinding is fine. But if I'm not sleeping enough, I've usually fall into a rut later on. Yeah, that is a very good question. Like I end up in a cycle trying to fix my sleep schedule. Bro, I fall into this trap very often. And you want to realize that waking up early is not actually about forcing yourself to wake up. If you go to sleep at 11 a.m., you don't necessarily have to set an alarm for 3 a.m. and then wake up. It's more about your schedule of when you go to sleep. So if you want to wake up early, go to bed early. Try to cut off any stimulants 1 hour prior going to bed. Try developing the habit of reading a book, because reading a book is really it's a much less stimulating thing if you want to do a bedtime activity or a nighttime activity. When you read a book, it actually even helps you sleep better. Sometimes I just feel so sleepy, my eyes are closing while I'm reading, and then yeah, I can just fall asleep much quickly. It's really more about fixing your sleep schedule rather than trying to wake up at an early hour. And whenever, for any reason, if you mess up your schedule, just realize that it is completely fine. Figure out what led to this, what led you to ruining this schedule. Just try to avoid those activities. For example, for me, it's usually family gatherings or family dinners. I mean, my family, everyone in my relatives, they just like sleeping late, and I'm the only one who likes waking up early, sleeping in early. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a drag, to be honest. I try to avoid events as much as I can, but some of them you cannot really avoid. Or sometimes I just stay up late. I have spend time watching a season or something, but it's mostly intentional. Yeah, very seldom, very rarely do I do that. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's just about a matter of a day or two. I know that okay, I just need to force myself once, and the next day I need to sleep in early. Yeah, I mean, the foolproof method that I have of fixing your routine is to have one really shitty day. That for that one day you want to force yourself to wake up extremely early, and yeah, it's gonna be a drag. Get some coffee if you want. I always get coffee when I wake up super early, and then yeah, the rest of the day I just force myself. It's a drag. I'll be honest. But then you're gonna be sleepy by 7, 8. Just go to bed. Just don't stay past that hour. Yeah, you'll fix it. Just realize that falling into a rut is part of the process. Anyone can fall into a rut. Everyone falls into a rut. It's a fake image that these self-improvement gurus will put in front of you. Who are productive all the time. No one is productive all the time. It's not about falling into a rut. It's about how quickly can you realize that you fall into a rut and how quickly do you get out of it. If you fell into a rut, it's completely fine. Don't feel guilty. But if you stay in the rut, that is a choice. That is your mistake. May I know what degree you did? I have a degree in 3D animation and design. Not that it matters, to be honest, because what I'm doing right now is I had to self-teach myself. I just believe that if you're thinking of getting an art degree, don't do it. Never once have I been asked for my qualifications before getting any project, any work, any freelance gig. They just ask you, can you do this? And if you can, then yeah, welcome. You have the gig, you have the job, you have this, you have that. Your degree is not a limitation. In our field of work, in our line of work, degree is not as important as skill is. And instead of wasting tens of thousands of dollars, you can just buy a course or a program for, I don't know what, bro. I mean, like, it's almost free when you compare it to the cost of education. It's literally free. You can really get a course for about $50, $30. You can get direct learning from industry specialist for a few $100s. It's actually insane. Yeah, I would recommend you go that route if you do want to get some sort of education. How much of the coffee do you consume? Yeah, Kasim answered it perfectly. We basically inhale it. Bro, I drink coffee to a point where my piss smells like coffee. I kid you not. So if I sit down and I piss, it smells like coffee. I think I consume about 3-4 cups of coffee. I mean, two is the minimum. Minimum. Yeah, I kid you not. It's to the point where my piss, right? It smells like coffee. I kid you not. I'm following you. You're good. Congratulations. It would be interesting to be able to see how many polygons you work with as your work process. Oh yeah, of course. Sure thing, bro. Thank you for pointing it out. And so far we are at 340,000, I think. Yeah, 340K. And I think the trick to this is really only adding more polygons as you progress forward. So let me quickly demonstrate this for you. This is a really rough version, okay? This is how your progression should look like. You just worry about the basics here, the basic shapes, then you add a bit more detail once you're happy with the foundation that you've established, because you need to realize that if this sucks, this is bound to suck, because everything compiles over the other one. So this is the most important step, the foundation, the most important. Details are always secondary. One cup is enough for ruin my sleep of all day. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I do not consume coffee 6 hours prior to bed because it can really mess up your sleep. I mean, some people, they really emphasize on how long you sleep, but it's also about the quality of sleep that you get. And some people, they're not affected by coffee. They say, I sleep just fine. But it's not about that you can't sleep if you consume coffee. You can sleep. It's just that the quality of your sleep is not going to be well. You're not going to feel rested when you get up. So that is something to watch out for as well. The key is to drink it while working and try to work in morning, early afternoon. Yeah, I mean, I have it early in the morning 3 a.m., 4 a.m., that is when I have my first 2 cups. And then whenever my dad wakes up, we have coffee together as well. And also for the first handsome hours of the day, I just like to stay fasted. I do not eat anything until 2 p.m. Sometimes even longer, but usually at least 2 p.m. I do not eat anything. I just have water or coffee or some tea, maybe anything that is 0 calories. I mean, it just keeps you away from the fog that you have. So when you probably know this, whenever you have a big meal full of carbs or something, then you feel a bit drowsy. You feel like you have brain fog. This just really helps a lot with focus. All right, Lucian, my boy, looking good. The keys you didn't get, yeah, I always crash after family gathering. Hair sucks. I think they're too hard. Not at all. This is really simple. I can show it to you. Here, let's dive into the hair. All you need to do is to figure out, oh wow, one strand, another strand, and then just have it in your sculpt. So we're just going to use the mask tool. You can see we have the mask tool here. Yeah, we're just going to make these forms similar to how the hair is. I think up till here is completely fine. By the way, we could have just used another cylinder as well, but the reason I'm using the mask tool is so that it follows the shape of the head automatically. I don't have to worry about adding a UV sphere and then wrapping it around the face, the shape of the head. I can simply get it for free by simply tracing a mask around this. So yeah, this is gonna be really easy. And yeah, when you have a mask like this, make sure that you hold A. So I'm holding A right now. Oh, by the way, let me turn on screencast so that I don't have to narrate every key that I'm pressing. There you can literally press. Oh, let's make it a bit thicker first. Or you can just simply hold A and you have all the mask options here. You can grow your mask, you can shrink your mask, you can sharpen your mask. Yeah, use these tools to your advantage. And yeah, once you have the mask, just go to mask, mask extract, extract the mask. Let's adjust the thickness. Let's apply this. Let's remesh this one more time and let's smooth this out. And voila, you have the hair strand. You can press inflate. And with the move brush, you can pull this down. Or you can use the snake brush. I mean, the options are endless, bro. Hello, question. What's the best clay build-up and smooth or inflate brush? What's the best clay build-up and smooth or inflate brush? What do you mean? I mean, for clay build-up, you use clay strips brush. This just gives you a natural organic shape of the clay building up. But I think brushes is not really that important. You can achieve the same result by using a ton of options of the brushes. If you have the basics honed down, you can just use any brush that you like. Like for example, sometimes instead of the smooth brush, I'll use this scrape brush. You can see it scrapes away, it shaves away part of the mesh. Yeah, I mean, it's all about the use case. There's never a right or wrong way when you're sculpting. There's never a right or wrong way in 3D. There's a bazillion ways of doing something and getting the result. It's all about how much time you've put in and what brush do you want to use. But of course, the most important thing always is going to be the basics. How well do you have the basics nailed down? And once you have that, you can even challenge yourself. Make a whole sculpt with just the move brush, or just use the draw sharp brush to get all the details and everything. Yeah, really simple here. Let's color them black. For more volume, when do you decide what does it depend on something? When do you decide what does it depend on something? Okay, honestly, you can pretty much sculpt almost anything with just the clay strips, draw sharp, or scrape. I agree. I agree. Okay, when do I decide? Okay, let's say I want to make wrinkles, all right, on his forehead. I can either use the draw sharp brush like this, if I'm more comfortable with the draw sharp brush. Some people, they're gonna be more comfortable with the crease brush, so they can draw wrinkles with the crease brush. Some people, they will draw wrinkles with the crease brush and then use an inflate brush to tighten things up. So the options are really unlimited. It's just about your preference. I mean, I decide based on the tools that I use the most. I use the draw brush whenever I want a smooth bulge. Like whenever I want a smooth bulge, I use the draw brush. Whenever I want to emphasize something, let's say I want to emphasize this crease, I use the draw sharp brush and then I smooth around it. Sometimes what I do is I use the crease brush and I use this is in inverse. There's no right or wrong way, really. And I really cannot give you the best brush for a best use case. Let's say you want to tighten these things, okay? You can use the inflate brush. It is a good way of tightening things. You can see how it tightens stuff up. But yeah, there's really no fixed way. For example, here, I can use the inflate brush to tighten this up. Or I could also use the grease brush to do the same thing. It's all personal preference. Really, it's all personal preference. I wish I had a better answer for this, but really the true answer is it's always about the basics first. The skill is more important than the tools you use. So if you have the skills honed down, the tools is not a limitation for you. Let's duplicate this. Bring it a bit closer. Oh, did I duplicate this? I think I did. What happened? Okay, let's go to edit mode, enable symmetry on X, select everything and move this. No, it doesn't work. Okay. What else can we try? Let's delete one side. LX faces. Let's apply the mirror modifier for this. Yeah, now it works better. Check. Okay, got it. Yeah, happy to answer, brother. Or also pinch or clay brush. Use the brush which helps to achieve result. Yeah. Okay, how long have we spent on this? Almost an hour. Not bad, actually. Hi, man. I totally overslept today. Nice sculpt, by the way. Just woke up. Good morning, my friend. Thank you. But we're just gonna add another hair strand, color the eyes, and yeah, this is gonna be it for this sculpt. Oh, I still have to make the pattern over here. Not a sweat. I'm gonna do this very quickly. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, since we have 12 people watching now, if you're interested in sculpting and you want a free head sculpting course that does actually get you result, you can check out the link in the description or the pinned message in the chat. It will lead you to this free community where you will get access to this community. You will get access to the free head sculpting course, the free mindset course, because I believe this is extremely important. This is the most important thing over here. If you don't have the proper mindset, if you don't have the practices of a disciplined artist, it's bad news. You want to realize that you or you want to realize that a winner and a loser, they always have the same goals. The only difference is the mindset. Everyone, you and your favorite artist, you both had the same goal of being an artist, but one of them succeeds, one doesn't. The only deciding factor is the mindset. It's how you choose to approach stuff. Yeah, I'll agree. I had a very weak mindset when I started out. I was a Jerry basically. And the most important thing that helped me progress was mindset. And I believe that it is something that artists don't really talk about. Instructors online, they don't really talk about this just because it's unsexy. No one wants to hear that, yeah, the problem is you, bro. No one wants to hear that. But in actuality, it is always you that is the problem. If you're struggling, it's not the course, because someone out there has the same material as you, but he's making the sculpts that you want. The reason that you're not able to do it is because you have a weak mindset. I mean, I had this kid in my community who was 14 years old, and I saw other people in the community complaining about, hey, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this course, that course. That little kid was sculpting with a mouse, and he was making better sculpts than people with graphic tablets, even display tablets. You cannot pay your way to learn sculpting. It's just not possible. You need to learn the basics, you need to learn the fundamentals, and when you do that, you can sculpt with the mouse, you can sculpt with the tablet. The tools is not a limitation anymore. So yeah, it's high time we stop blaming, we stop finding excuses and actually be accountable and put in the work that is required. Hair is kind of tricky for me as well. Curves, mesh modeling, or hair particles, or the hair tool in Blender. What do you prefer? It depends on the result that I want. If I want something realistic, I go with hair particles. But for me, it's always about speed. I just like sculpting really quickly. I don't like committing to projects for very, very long. So for me, sculpting hair works. And yeah, hair curves, I don't know. Hair curves have this really annoying thing when you adjust the last dot or the last curve point, it just rotates the entire hair above. It's super annoying. If someone knows a way around it, please tell me. But yeah, for me, I just like sculpting because it's just an easy way to get hair done. And yeah, the result is really not half bad. Sharpen mask. And yeah, we can paint this area black. let's pick this and let's refine the shape a bit. I think we could have used a lighter color for this. So let's just quickly lighten this up a bit. But yeah, this doesn't really matter that much. It's a bit darker, it still works. And yeah, let me share another really cool trick with you guys. So let's say we want to sculpt this pattern now. You just go here to the fall off setting, you make this constant, and now you have this constant line. You adjust the size of the brush, you press Shift S, and see, Shift S. When you press Shift S, you enable stabilize stroke. You can sculpt this pattern very, very easily. Yeah, I think we can redo this. Maybe go a bit higher here. Yeah, this works better. Nice. I think it's well established that everyone hates working with curves. Yeah, bro. Curves are super annoying. Alright, man. Good luck. I'm gonna get going with my morning routine. Alright, man. Good luck. Have a great weekend, my bro. Take care, bro. Yes, I tried it with object bevel and a second curve for the shape, but sometimes it drives me crazy because of the position of the second curve. Yeah, it is a bit. It does drive you crazy. Also, with the when it just rotates everything around and you don't know what what's wrong, it's super annoying. But sometimes you want to go with hair. Let's say if it's a portfolio piece or something, and you really want to spend your time making the hair, by all means, go ahead. But for me, when it's a practice like this, it's not really important to work with curves. Like even if I wanted to practice likeness, there's no point adding pose. It doesn't really help. It's very important to know what you are practicing, why you are practicing, and what do you want out of your practice session. Let's say if I want to study likeness, then I just need to get the basic features of the face right. Pose is not going to help me. No matter how many pose I add, bro, it's not going to fix a bad base. Never. I mean, I used to do this all the time when I was a Jerry. I used to light my sculpts, color my sculpts, render my sculpts. The sculpt looked shitty as hell, bro. And I was like, yeah, I think lights is what I need. Let me add some lights. And yeah, it should fix the sculpt for me. No, it does not. Stop wasting your time, bro. Yo, what's up, Scarlett? Do you like retopology? No, I hate retopology. To be honest, when I recorded the retopology course, I did not want to do it at all. This course right here. Yeah, I didn't want to do it because this really sucks. I just hate retopology. The only reason I recorded this course was because the members inside my school, they were just putting too much effort, which wasn't really required. And yeah, I just, for my boys, I took a hit. I took one for the team and I recorded a retopology course. It's not really, it doesn't has to be perfect. Good topology has to be functional. That is it. That is the only thing topology requires you, is that you make a functional model. No one cares if it has a triangle or an n-gon hidden somewhere. No one cares, bro. As long as it's functional, it is completely fine. When was the last time you played a video game and you thought, what does the topology of this character look like? Never. Never. No one cares, bro. As long as the character hits the combo, fine. No one cares what the topology looks like. You'll be surprised how many times VFX studios get away with shitty work because no one cares. No one cares. But of course, there are some fundamental rules, some things that you cannot compromise over. I'm not saying that you can get away with the shitty topology either. I'm just saying that it needs to, at least the minimum that is required is that it is functional, fully functional. I hear you, man. Bro, I had a question. Do you sculpt for printing or 3D animation? I sculpt for printing. And if someone wants to retopologize after this using my sculpts, I don't mind. But for me, I just like making concepts. So it can be printed. No one cares about the topology. Then you can just throw it straight to a printing program, a slicer, and boom, you have a print. But I don't like the extra steps that are involved to make it animation ready. I just like making characters. That is it. Is there an add-on for retopology? Yeah, Retopperflow is an add-on. Check at Blender Market. Yeah, is it paid? I guess it is paid, but I heard they made it free. I'm not sure how you can get it for free, but they did make it free. I bought it during the Humble Bundle deal. Basically, they just sold a lot of add-ons for a very minimal price, but I still have to try it. I haven't tried it yet. So would I recommend it? Nope, because I haven't tried it myself yet. But I've heard good things about it. The members inside my school, when they were following one of them, when he was following the retopology course, he used Retopperflow and just the principles from the course, and he got really good results. And yeah, in his words, it's a very good tool. Free for a month only. Oh, I see. But bro, I think even if it's paid, it's maybe the maximum it's gonna be about $50. I really believe that one should not really look at the price of something, but it should look at the value that it's gonna have. So hypothetically, you should be at least be working with $30 an hour in your mind or $50 an hour in your mind. And if you can save hours of your time by investing $50 in a course or a program, it's definitely worth it. All right, let's finish off the eyes. Is my chat loading? Let me see. Yeah, it's loading. I fear that in the moment I bought it, Blender comes up with new version and my add-on doesn't run anymore. All we're gonna do so you can use them. That is a good concern. I'm not sure if add-ons are really not supported by the new versions. But for example, look at here. You can read right here. I'm using 4.2.3 LTS. And I don't update Blender really often. I just wait for the LTS version to come out, or if there's a really mind-blowing feature, then I use it. Otherwise, I don't really upgrade. So many people that jumped on Blender 4.3, which has the new sculpting interface and everything. I don't really like it. I wasn't a fan of the new UI and the new layout, so I stick here. And of course, you can jump back and forth. This is the good thing about Blender. You don't really need to worry about these things. You can find whatever version works for you and stick to it as long as you want. I think we can make the lips a bit more thicker. What are you gonna do with the sculpt after finishing it? Selling it on any site or just print for yourself? Nothing. It just stays on my hard drive. Oh, where did I go? Here. Always on top. Yeah, I just practice and there's really nothing I do after I sculpt these. They're just gonna stay on my hard drive forever. Here's another tip, guys. So when you're sculpting the eyes, always dig them inside. It's just gonna give you such a nice result. The eyes are gonna catch light and shadows in a way that's gonna be extremely mesmerizing. And it also in a way mimics how the real eye functions. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Just look at this already and tell me this doesn't feel alive. And now when you add color on top, it looks very nice. Time to paint the eyes. Yes. So for the eyes, I just like to set this up by digging this inside, then just using a black color for the outer part. I think we can just enable the mirror modifier. This will allow us to paint a bit more smoothly. Or let's just keep it on. I want the detail to be copied to the other side. Yeah, just paint black for the outer rim. Oh, I was wondering why this was happening. This is because we adjusted the fall off. Let's make this smooth again. I was wondering, why is the brush so hard? Let's just paint this all black or white again. Let's pick black again. Paint the outer part of the iris black. Then we look at what the main color is. I think this is green, lime green. So yeah, we're gonna pick that color a bit towards the yellow side. Then we're gonna paint that. Let's reduce the saturation a bit. Yeah, still too saturated. Let's reduce this even further. And yeah, just to top it off, we have another black circle in the center. There you can see how believable the eyes look. They catch shadow, they catch light in a very aesthetic way, just because we pushed it inside. And another thing you can do is make fake shadows, which also makes the eyes look very nice. So just paint fake shadows right here around the eyelids. Wow, eyes are really the soul to the soul, doorway to the soul. And you can see without the iris, with the iris. Yeah, the eyes have a lot of personality to them. Which is also why it's quite an intimidating thing to sculpt. I think I can move the mouth up a bit and make the face a bit more narrow. Or we can just leave it like it was. It's not that bad. Let's turn on some shadows. And voila. Yeah, I think we're done for this session. Let's see if we have any more questions. So when you gonna sculpt again? Yeah, maybe soon. I really want to try out the anime style again. So I might try sculpting Sukuna again. How does it look when it comes to reflection because of the hole digged in? Very believable. I actually made a video about this as well. So if you go to the channel here, I can show you a bit. View my channel. Yeah, this video. You know, the actual eye is also this way and it has depth to it. I actually showed it here. So let me show it to you. This is the result that you will get. Here's a comparison. This does not have of a regular eye, just a sphere. Life. This is just a sphere, the way that we would want in a character. This version is when you add right here, the cavity how when you dig it inside. This feels. Even look at how much more believable this is. How much more alive this is. And the only thing that I did was I modeled you can see. I will turn on the wireframe here, so you can see has this bulge. So you here, the outer layer of the eye, it has this bulge on the outside. In the inner part, it has a curve to the inside. So you can see how this one bulges out and how this one bulges in. And if you do that, you will have very believable eyes. Very, very beautiful eyes with a lot of depth, a lot of character, a lot of soul. And yeah, because let's say if you want to 3D print this, you cannot really have a clear layer of glass outside with the bulge. So what we do is we just make the iris part, and then you can see how the reflection changes, how the way it catches light changes. So if this was 3D printed, we would have this in solid color. And you can see that this would look much more believable, much more pleasant than just having a round eye like this. And of course, when you 3D print this and when you color this, it's going to look even better. Nice results. Thank you. Thank you so much. For eyes, use tiny eyes add-on. No need to model them. Yeah. I agree. If you can, of course, of course. If you have the tiny eye add-on, I have it as well. So just use this. And they set up their lights very similarly as well. So you can see that they have this bulge outside. And let me see if we can actually move this. And yeah, they have this bulge on the inside. Yeah, the result for tiny eyes is amazing. Amazing. I'll have to set up materials, bro. Retracing. If this works. Okay, you can see here. Gladly the materials are all set up for this add-on. And yeah, good pointing out, Cave Wrath. If go just get the tiny eyes add-on and you'll have it set up already. This has a lot more control in the material too, by the way. There's a lot of parameters that you can play with. Yeah, it's a really cool add-on. Super nice. But yeah, we're done with the sculpt. Once again, if anyone's interested in learning to sculpt for free, getting started for free, you can join the community right here and get access to these courses, to the mindset course, to the head sculpting course. The rest of the courses here, you can either purchase them as a one-time payment and you'll have them for life. This one you can unlock by simply interacting with the community members inside, sharing your work. The more you interact, the more you post, the more points you get. And you can unlock this course. You can unlock 3D models and resources. You can unlock a one-on-one call with me where I will help you personally with anything that you are struggling with. Or if you're a bit more serious, you can join the paid version, which is a monthly subscription, by the way. And for the monthly subscription, you get access to all of these courses immediately. And if you upgrade to the annual payment, if you upgrade to annual, you get a 40% discount for the whole year. 40 or 30? Yeah, somewhere around that. But you also unlock an instant one-on-one call. For the next few members to join, I also have a bonus one-on-one onboarding call so that I can get on a call with you. You unlock this by joining, by simply joining. So if you join, you unlock a one-on-one call with me and I will listen to your goals, see what you are struggling with, remove the obstacles in your way and help you get results. And yeah, you can see the kind of results the members are getting inside. We just have Lee, who shared his 30-day progress. You can see how much he improved in as little as a month. Yeah, this is something that I'm building. I'm very passionate about this platform. Yeah, this is really fulfilling work for me. So thanks for sharing. Hope to see you again soon. Yeah, it was a pleasure having you as well, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Zach Hyde, cool thing. I'm going to call you. All right, bro. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, have a lovely weekend, you guys. Goodbye. Take care. See you around.